I hear you there, Daniel. I'm just trying to live life in a way where I can die knowing that I made the most of the human experience.
I'm bad and bougie.
I fucking hate you.
This dry streak might end, if that's what you're referring to.
This voice, and it says, I know you know I'm here. Why are you ignoring me?
Are you smelling burnt toast, sir?
I should go.
Yeah. Over Chipotle.
There's no way you could speak to them dancing that hard and so passionately.
You know what? I really may regret this.
I'm recording in 3, 2. Jokes have already been recording this whole time. What's up, everybody? Classic.
Nice.
Classic me, right?
You're supposed to actually ask everyone in the Zoom call if they're okay with you recording.
I'm actually
them.
hosting, and I don't need any tips. Actually, I'm good. But thank you, and welcome to the I May Regret This podcast. Today we got my co-host as usual, Kunal Bargatra.
Hello, how's it going? That's me, Kunal. Funny story. Let me tell you how I got here. One day, out of nowhere, I'm just like, I want to start a podcast. And so I go to Daniel, I'm like, hey, what do you think? And he's like, hey, man, I don't know who you are. Get out of my house. So I start crying. I'm walking back home. Really, I have no idea what this means for our future because I thought we were friends. So I go home. I'm going to my brother for advice. I'm going to Sid. No one knows what to do. Then all of a sudden, one day, Daniel comes to me. Classic Daniel. Hey, Kunal, I have an idea. Let's start a podcast. He just turned me down so the fucker could take credit for the whole thing. I mean, it's classic, but yeah, I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Wow. Okay. Special guest today. I don't know how to move on from that. We got a special guest. Long time coming. Joel Godin. Did I say it right
Daniel.
this time?
Yeah, you said it right, Daniel Hedchikian. Yeah, look at that.
Thanks,
Thank
brother.
you so much for having me, guys. It's a great first session for me with you guys. I'm really excited to be invited here. Thank you for the opportunity.
I love this. We're gonna wax philosophical. We're gonna wax fucking masturbation. We're gonna wax everything.
That's the name of the game today, boys. I'm ready to talk about it.
That's it.
Now,
yes, go ahead, Kunal.
can I quickly ask you guys something before we start? Completely unrelated.
You
I
have
looked to
permission.
my left and I just saw something and it made me think of it. Have you guys ever had beer imported from Poland?
Can't say I have.
So
Maybe.
I went to the LCBO and I saw this.
Sorry, real quick. Sid is FaceTiming me right now.
He always
why
does this when we
every single
record.
time. Every
Hang
single
up, man.
time.
Hit reject.
All right, I rejected him.
Tell me how that felt.
I mean, it felt fine. What was the
Okay.
thing you had to say?
So I went to the LCBO and I go into the like deep into the beer section, like typically to a point where I never go to. And I see like all these random like international beers, and there's this beer for $2.35, and it's a 500 milliliter bottle. So I'm like, wow, this is a good price. But it's some random Poland beer. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is probably going to suck, but it's a great
And
deal.
foreign stuff sucks, right?
Actually, I
Is that what you're
disagree.
going to say?
No, I think foreign stuff is fantastic for us. And I think that it's, only made us a greater country.
Good.
I agree.
That was a test. That was a test.
You're just a
Nice.
closed-minded little
No, that was a test.
little hater boy is what you are. Anyways,
Okay.
I had it. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's spelled Lezajsk. So I'm not even going to attempt, but it's really good. And I would seriously recommend it. It's $2.35 a bottle and it's 500 milliliters. And it was actually some of the best beer I've had in my life. Like it wasn't just, no, it's
My
pretty
God.
good. It was some of the best beer I've ever had.
You're really boosting this up.
It's really good, man.
What was the name of the brand? Are you paid?
We are being
You can
paid.
check out my affiliate link in the description below.
Go to Lezajsk. I'm going to
Yep.
put it in chat, and then you guys tell me how you would say that. Lezajsk.
Next thing I know, you're
Jesus.
going to talk about G Fuel with me.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce that.
Right, but it's really good.
I bet I could if I just need to hear it once.
So
Yeah.
when you go to the LCBO today, I would recommend getting it.
I mean,
All
I'm
right.
not going today, but yeah.
No. When you go today, I'd really recommend it.
As we're recommending a beer, or I don't even know if this is technically a beer, more like a malt liquor, but
Mhm.
if you're trying to save money right now, like things are tough with COVID, but you still want to get drunk, I think it's time to go back to the good old English. It's always been a great cost-effective way to get the drinks going.
Okay, so that sounded like a sponsor. That you absolutely just got paid for that. That was an ad, man. You set that up so beautifully.
Nice. Now I just want old English now all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. All right, well, moving on from that, we got some questions prepared to like open ourselves up for some interesting subjects. Does anyone want to go first, or shall I?
Unless Joel wants to go first. I don't even think Joel has any questions, but I always like to give courtesy to the guest. I would love to go first.
I really appreciate that. I have nothing to start off with. Kunal, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay,
we'll
guys,
take care of us.
This is going to be quite a doozy, okay?
Okay.
I need 2 male names.
Ooh.
Okay.
Should I go first, or you want to go first, Joel?
Daniel, you go first.
I'm gonna need a name of the person who wrote it and a name of the roommate in question.
Roommate is Fred.
Fred, got it.
Oh, and wait, wait, the roommate and then the main guy?
Yeah, you're the main guy. You're the guy who's writing this to us.
The main guy is Javietz.
Don't make that face. Don't make that face.
Dude, don't talk about that, because we're not putting up the video, so like you're teasing people by giving them a visual indication that we can't show them. You know what I mean?
So sure. Javietz,
yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is another Polish beer, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because I was taught how to pronounce that correctly. So I was like, I'm sure I'm butchering it. I'm sure I'm butchering it a little bit. I call myself out first, dude. You can't make fun of me. Can't make fun of me if I made fun of myself.
But you're so insecure. Okay. So the title is "My Last Remaining Roommate Poured Bleach into My Aquarium Last Night."
What?
Jesus.
Oh shit.
So,
all right.
2 of my roommates have already moved out last month. They were on subsidized housing lists and finally got approved. I have 1 roommate left, and his name is Jeff, and he's the only roommate left in the entire house with me. We had a house meeting last night, which was called by Jeff, and he was drunk and voicing his concerns, most of which had to do with the lease. So I told him to contact our landlord if he had any issues with the lease, which is, I think, a reasonable response by Javiet. Conversations went around in circles. He kept bringing up past things that had little to no relevance in our current situation. I've actively been trying to replace the 2 roommates in our house over the past month, and he asked if I'd be okay with it just being me and him in the house, and he would cover the rest of the cost. He is by no means financially able to do so right now, and so I told him that for the exact reason And so I told him no for that exact reason, and also told him that I had no intention of living with just one other person, and that is why I'm in this big house trying to fill 2 empty rooms. If I wanted to live with one other dude, and that's it, I'd move in with my boyfriend or my dad. Okay, well, I don't understand why that was really necessary on Javiet's part, but I digress. He has a big house, he wants 2 roommates, and he wants to fill the space. After more conversation... After the conversation kept going in circles, he decided he was just going to move out. The conversation ended at 7:30 p.m. and he was up till about 1 a.m. banging around and carrying on. I don't even know what that means. This morning I discovered that
banging around, like putting his stuff away or something, maybe.
Oh, true. Good point. Like packing up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense, because then the next part is the morning I discovered not only did he pack up all of his things from the common areas in the house, but a certain part of the downstairs smelled like bleach. It was time for me to give my sick turtle, who is in a quarantine tank right now, one of his 2 daily soaks. I take some of the water from his aquarium and put it into a plastic storage bin to do so. When I went to scoop out some water from my turtle's aquarium, I noticed the smell was way worse. And when I looked closer, there was bleach in my aquarium. I checked the chemical levels, and sure enough, there was definitely bleach in there. When he heard me come downstairs to get the water, I could hear him locking his door as if he had been hiding there ever since. If I wouldn't have noticed the bleach smell coming from the water, my turtle would be dead right now. This man tried to murder my innocent turtle. What
Jesus.
should I do? I am uncomfortable to be in this house right now with him, and I just want to leave. I'm obviously super upset, and I do not understand for the life of me why Jeff would do this. He has worked what? He has worked professionally with animals for years. I'm
What the
absolutely sickened. Please, any advice on how to navigate the situation would be appreciated. Juviettes. He's worked with animals for years?
What the who are these people that this is like, these are the type of questions that bring me out of my element. I'm like, I've actually never dealt with someone this insane.
That is insane. He's worked with animals. So I guess, okay, the quick story, to quickly sum it up, 2 roommates already left last month because they finally got the house they wanted. Jeff said, fuck it, we don't need to find 2 new roommates. I will cover the rest of the rent. It'll just be you and I. And Juviette says, no, you're in no financial position, and I want 2 new roommates. Jeff got pissed off, said he's going to move out, bleached the tank, and this is where we're at.
First impression, though, yeah, that's definitely unacceptable and definitely some kind of crime. I would guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's a relief that he's probably going to leave that house, though, right? So there's not much action that needs to be taken. Am I correct there?
I don't know.
I think
you're
correct. I guess I was just confused because that's what I thought. But then at the end, he said, I'm uncomfortable to be in the house right now and I want to leave. But I don't know if he means like I just want to leave for the day, like as I'm writing this, or like I want to move out. But I don't get why he'd want to move out if Jeff's gone.
Well, I feel like he's just uncomfortable being in the same space as this fucking insane person right now. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's really crazy. I don't know what to do. And I've actually heard stories from my friends where they've lived or like had roommates that were kind of this level of insane. And it's like, it gets dangerous. It's like, holy shit, like you actually share a living space with this person. Like,
right.
You know, it's kind of such a huge thing. Sometimes we all take for granted, is like being at home and just having the security that you can trust whoever's in the home. Because when you can't, it's like, holy shit, like I can't even go to sleep right now. Like I need to protect myself and my things. And yeah, I feel like it's getting that level with this guy. I don't know if is this enough that like, yeah, what's the move here? Do you just wait for him to leave? What the fuck?
I mean, definitely. I'm not one to just try to rat people out for no reason. But this guy's working professionally with animals. I think I absolutely need to bring this to the attention of someone. I don't know who. I don't know if it's. Do you go to the authorities for this?
I'm wondering that too right now.
Who do you call? Obviously, I'm gonna tell, like, if I have a good relationship at home and all that, and I have a fallback, I'm close to home. I'm gonna tell my parents. I'm gonna see what can be done. I'm happy my turtle's alive. I'm gonna sort out a new tank for my turtle. But now it's like, someone needs to know about this because this guy works professionally with animals and he just tried to murder one.
I would get out of there. I think I just wouldn't stay in the same apartment as him. And yeah, like the question with authorities, I mean, pressing charges and everything like that, is that the way to go? Is there attempted animal murder charges? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm sure that's a thing. I wonder if it's worth the
Google search.
Yeah, that's worth a Google search.
Definitely worth a Google search. I wonder if it's worth a like actually taking the time and everything to pursue it. I'd say like the more priority is just getting him out of the house, which is like what do you even do at that point? I don't know. This guy's like locked himself in his room.
I really think that, well, no, what's creepy is like, yeah, like he was waiting at the tank until what's the guy's name?
Juviettes.
Yeah, until Juviettes came down. The second he heard him come down and check the water, Jeff ran upstairs and locked his room door.
I thought it was Fred.
Or Fred, sorry.
You were telling him Jeff the whole story.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
You switched Fred to Jeff. By the way, maybe I'm going to bring up a new question to you guys, like kind of somewhat related, but maybe the break from this actual problem will like give us time for it to sit in our unconscious, and then we'll come up with a solution. Here's what I'm thinking. And I want you guys to challenge me if I'm wrong about this, but this is kind of the way I think. And I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but here's what my thought went to when at first I heard like put bleach in my aquarium, I expected it to be fish. And when he said a turtle, it made it worse because to me, like a turtle is more intelligent, and therefore like harm done to something more intelligent is worse, in my opinion. Like, I feel like people don't care when like as much when like a plant dies. It's not, they don't have like brains that can feel like pain and anguish and whatnot, right? So, but like if for example, I don't know, like a dolphin was to get really, man, that
God.
was in poor taste, dude. That was absolutely in poor taste. You need to apologize to the dolphin community for that.
I'm sorry, I said.
You didn't, because I was interrupting you. But yeah, so I guess like that's kind of the thing I'm getting at, is that like a fish is closer to like a tree. No, okay, sorry.
A fish
like,
is closer to a tree. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Let me explain. As far as like intelligent life goes, you have like plant life, or I don't know, like bacteria, I guess would be at the bottom or whatever. But like plants, bacteria, like they don't have brains. And then you get to like a dolphin, you know, like a dog, a human, starting to get to like very much intelligent life. And then somewhere in the middle is a fish.
Right.
And like, to me, that matters less that you do harm. But I feel like that's kind of fucked up. Is it?
I think there's levels to this. I think, okay, let's start at the base level. I disagree on the level of, I thought it was a fish, which is correct. We're on the same page there. I also thought it was fish. And then when I found that it was a turtle, it was shittier because the turtles are more intelligent. I don't think that I think I would feel just as shitty for this guy, or feel just as shitty in his situation or in being in his position. Fish to turtle.
I don't really. I mean, I do care for the guy, but like I much more care for the turtle, to be honest. The turtle's the one that went through this shit. But like this guy's just scared. That's
why. But I'm saying, like, I think that okay, so I think I get what you're saying. So I'll still start with what my original answer is going to be, is that regardless, like fish, turtle, whatever your pet is, whatever you care for, I still feel terrible for the guy, because regardless of how intelligent or sentient it is or not, you love something and someone fucks with it, it's cause for, you know, anger and anguish on this person's behalf. In terms of the actual, like, oh, I feel bad for the turtle instead of the fish, I don't know. I mean, they both feel things at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I guess I can relate to a tree. I feel shitty for the environment in that regard and not a tree. But they both feel things, and both things would be suffering terribly in that situation. And even if they didn't suffer, both things are just dying. I think I would still feel equally shitty, regardless of like, oh, this one could provide more to society or this one's more intelligent. I think I just still feel shitty. Like, this is a living thing that went through that or endured that bullshit for no reason.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much 100% on your page with all of that. Like, depending on the cognition of different species and different animals, I mean, like, yes, there's probably a difference in severity to the ethical crime that you just committed, depending on what animal. Like, different examples, like octopi are very, very intelligent. Dolphins are very intelligent. Pigs are very intelligent, and we could just kill pigs all the time. But like, whether or not it's more severe than any other animal, any other cognition, there's probably a good debate whether or not it would be. And I could probably agree that might be worse to kill a turtle than a fish. At the same time, though, just as a blanket crime, it's just kind of fucked up any way you look at it. Like, just don't fuck with that.
I guess the
don't fuck with animals like that.
Agreed. The thing I'm trying to get at here is that like, I really don't care much if I like kill a bug, for example. Pretty like, you know, I'm still grateful for life on Earth. You know, it's like cool, you know, bugs do their thing, but like, you know, if a fly dies, like I'm not really shedding a tear about that.
That's probably, you know, like, I mean? That's actually like a whole field of study basically on like different levels of cognition between like organisms and how different animals can process thought in different ways. So like, even like they say crows might have actually a surprisingly advanced level of cognition, but you wouldn't really think something like a crow would be that intelligent. And yeah, I suppose something like a bug would be lower on that scale that you're describing. And I suppose it would be. I would also agree. I don't feel as bad killing something like a dragonfly or fly. Yeah, versus something a little bit more complex.
And this is why I'm opening up to be challenged, because it's actually shaped the way I change my diet. Because I think like I mean, ethically, ideally, I'd like to not eat any, like not sacrifice any life in order to eat. But like, I don't know. I found it very hard to cut everything cold turkey. So I kind of only eat seafood now. And yeah, I guess part of that is because they're one step closer to bugs compared to like cow or pig is like a very intelligent life. And
Wait, is this the thing? You only
treatment.
eat seafood now? You don't eat meat or anything?
Yeah, I've been doing that for months and months now.
Oh wow, so I'm really behind on this.
I mean, yeah, maybe I just never. Isn't it funny that like the podcast is low key all of our interactions? So
Yeah.
like, if I don't bring it up on the show, like you probably don't really know that much.
Yeah, pretty
outside
much.
of that. It's kind of funny, but anyways, okay. Well, good discussion. I'm down to bring it back to maybe we've taken a break from the thing and we have a solution now.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is this guy gonna do about this fucking
Circling
guy in this
back, I
house?
still feel terrible for this guy, and I'm almost like pissed for him. Like this is someone who you.
The turtle's
lived
okay
with.
though, right?
The turtle's okay.
It was an
because he
attempt.
noted.
It was an
because-
attempt at life, not a murder.
The turtle's okay because he noticed in time. If he like
Right.
didn't have to go feed him or whatever he said, and like he was like, oh fuck it, let me go grab a coffee, or like, and then oh shit, you know what? I want to buy some chips. Like it just did some stuff before coming home. That turtle would be dead. That turtle wouldn't
Yeah.
be here with us anymore.
I think I have a conclusion with all of this. I think,
Let's hear
first
it.
of all, the burden of evidence would be on whatever that guy's name is. You gave the name, Daniel. Can't say it right now. But the burden of evidence is on him. If he can prove that this roommate actually ended up trying to bleach the tank or whatever situation exactly that was, it would be a matter of taking it up with the landlord and leaving it up to the landlord to basically evict the guy and get him out of there if he's not
Right.
already leaving. If he's not already leaving, then it would just be a matter of cutting contact with him if that relationship didn't matter to him too much and just kind of trying to move past it. I don't know if pressing charges is going to get him anywhere.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
my question. Sorry, Daniel, were you gonna say something actually?
Well, yeah, I think I was just gonna say like, honestly, I don't really know what to do. Like, as far as getting him out of the house, maybe you could like, if you're actually scared, get some sort of like enforcement involved. But as far as like pressing charges, I feel like that's kind of like a personal thing. If you really want justice, like you could probably find a way to get that. But it's going to be a lot of like anguish and work involved with that. And if you really just want to like cut him off, then you could just do that too. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay, my question. Let's say in the case of this person, like let's just say, is it Jeff? What
Yeah,
is
you
it?
said Jeff. We're going to commit to Jeff. Yeah.
Okay, what was it? It was Fred. It was Fred. Okay.
Fred, for God's sakes.
God damn it! I'm sorry, Joel.
That's it.
Okay, so let's say Jeff is currently actively in the field of animal care. Like that's his job right now. Like that's where he goes to work every day.
Oh my God, I forgot about that aspect.
That's what I mean. I can't let that go. I think I need to tell the employer or someone. I know I'm inserting myself. I get it. Maybe even an anonymous tip, but like, dude, I don't trust this guy with animals. Like this guy could be taking care of my fucking animal tomorrow.
How would you even prove that? Like
That's
you'd
my-
go to,
that's
you'd
my
find out
problem.
his manager and be like, yeah, he did
Yeah.
this. And
See,
then it's
that's
just
my
your word
problem. So
against
you
his.
can definitely bring like pictures of like, oh look, I tested the chemical levels and like, there was definitely bleach or whatever. But how do you prove it was him? And I guess the answer is you're fucked. You don't. But I don't know. I still think it's worth bringing up and being like, yeah, we got into a discussion. This is my turtle. We're the only two people living in the house. You can see the chemical levels of the water. Someone definitely put bleach in it. I don't know if you want to fucking fingerprint the bottle of bleach or whatever. That's obviously too much, but like, look, we're the only
Yeah.
two people in the house. I would never do this to my own turtle. We got into an argument last night. There's a reason he just recently moved out. I'm telling you he did this. I don't have concrete evidence, so obviously you don't have to believe me. I don't have a video or anything, but I can 100% confirm to you from the bottom of my heart he did this. And I'm only telling you this because he's actively working with animals, and I think that this is relatively dangerous behavior, and I think it's something that needs to be brought to your attention. And I think that's the best you could do.
Yeah, I guess
hear you.
I'm with
I'm
that
on
as
board with that.
possible. Yeah. And there we go. And we found a conclusion.
Sorry for your
Um,
situation, man.
Yeah. Sorry, fucking Jeff, even though your name is Fred.
Why are you apologizing to the roommate? He tried to kill a turtle.
Best wishes to the turtle.
I'm sorry to Jiviettes.
Mm,
Jiviettes?
that's the name I
I
couldn't.
forget
That's
the
why I'm
fucking
mixing. That's why I mixed it with Jeff, man.
name. 'Cause it's
Jiviettes
Jiv-
and Jeff. Yeah.
yeah.
It was Fred though.
I know.
Yeah,
I
but Fred
know.
though, like there was no excuse.
Where
Pretty soon
Fred's
you're gonna
gonna
be
live on
calling
him
like
next one.
you're gonna be calling me like Henry, and then Joel's gonna be like Frank or some shit. Like that's how different those were. You,
Actually-
you imbecile.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I have a question for us, which I think is going to be pretty interesting.
Do
But
you think or do you know? Because I'm really not here to waste my time.
Jesus,
Damn.
man, you're a busy guy or something.
Sorry.
I was just gonna ask though, like maybe kind of decompress. I haven't really talked to anyone about this, but like totally, we're in state of emergency right now.
Yes. Yes.
Stay at home. It's been going on for 2 days now, since Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys feeling like? Like, what are your plans to consume your time? Where's your mental health at? All that.
Actually, Joel, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first. I feel like I've been.
Yeah,
talking a lot.
thanks, man. Sure. Well, I'm living on my own. It's just me and my cat in my apartment. I'm changing apartments this weekend. Actually, I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
But yeah, considering everything that's locked down right now, it's just me. I have one designated house that I've been visiting, and I really appreciate those two friends I have. And mentally speaking, I'm actually doing well. Like life is fine. Working from home is kind of shitty considering my workplace is now where I live, and where I live is my workplace. So it's hard to kind of compartmentalize both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I end up keeping busy. Like, I'm gaming pretty much every night with buddies off of Discord.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Felt
What are you
that.
gaming?
I feel that.
What
Lately,
games?
I've been gaming. Well, I'm playing off my Nintendo Switch, and I picked up a copy of Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but no one here knows anything about Pikmin. But basically, you're a guy. You crash your spaceship on a planet, and then you got to survive by collecting fruits on this planet. But you have an army of tiny vegetable creatures that follow you around. It's a complete delight. It's a complete delight of a video game, and I'm having so much fun with it. And so far, it's been keeping me busy. I literally just play while I'm even at work, like just in between meetings, and I'm just playing some Pikmin just in between the calls because there's literally nothing to do. Even work is slow right now.
Right.
But feeling good overall. Thanks for asking, Daniel. Someone else can answer now. Yeah.
Well, actually, before I answer, I wanted to make a quick recommendation to you on that note. I don't know if you PC game at all.
Yeah, not really.
My recommendation is going to be a game that you don't need like a crazy good computer for anything, and it might even shock you. But I think Daniel even knows this too. What has been getting me and Sid and Encore and one of our friends named Mike and like what we all do, we play a bunch of different games. We have been ever since March, like when stay at home really started to become a pretty serious thing. It's been Uno, and
interesting.
Uno has gotten us, like we just played it again last night, like as we were winding down at the end of the night, we played it. Like if you have like, you said you go on Discord and play with some friends, it's like $5 and it's a delight. It's an absolute delight. I don't know where I would have been during this quarantine if it wasn't for Uno. So
it's a great recommendation, bro. Like I would love to play with you guys, but like it's like, yeah, but it's no, like I understand it's like a 4-person thing, and like you already got 4 people, so like yeah, and I no, like that's totally cool, and
is it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't like care or like think about it or
okay.
Yeah, I'm just
right.
No, I think that's I love that for you guys, and I appreciate that, and
you sound like Bob right
now. Early in quarantine for myself, Among Us was also carrying me quite a bit. That's such a fun game.
Oh, I still never played that.
I never got into that. I have a thing against games where the goal is to lie to your friends. I don't like taking on that. It feels
I have
feels bad.
A thing for games that involve lying to my friends. Like I live.
Probably because you're a fucking sociopath, dude. That never invites me to play Uno.
Oh my god! So you do care?
Nah, I was joking, dude. I don't care. I was just saying. Fucking Bhavna and I are gonna like play Uno by ourselves because like we're actually like the fucking cooler of like the whatever group that you have.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like we're actually like the cool ones. So like. It really should be you guys that wants to play with us. Not that we want to play. Not that we want to play with you guys. I'm just saying.
Definitely. Yeah. So why
Yeah.
don't you two just play it with amongst each other, and then me, Sid, Encore, and Mike, we'll just keep doing our thing.
We'll do whatever we want, dude. We don't
Daniel, we
need
could
your
set up some
input.
parties.
Yeah. Fucking Joel and
Well,
I
we
will
can have
play we'll have some vegetable people follow us around. We don't even need no Uno. Dude.
Okay, cool, man. I'm really glad to hear you're doing well, man.
All right, so
It's
moving
co-op,
on.
Daniel. We could totally play them.
Actually.
To answer your question,
Oh,
mentally
yeah, I didn't let
for
him
me,
talk.
not much has changed with this announcement because really living with my parents, I've kind of been treating it like I've been in lockdown this whole time. And it's driving me crazy. I'm gonna be honest. It is driving me insane.
Yep.
I hate how long it's been since I've hung out with people. Being in school and you have some friends living in Hamilton and people inviting you down to come see you and being like, oh, I miss you. It's been so long since I've seen you. And you want to be able to like honestly say I miss you too. Like, let's hang out. But like, I can't. Like, I legitimately
You want to be able to say I miss you, but I don't give a fuck.
But like, no, like I legitimately can't do anything about
No,
it.
I
Like,
know.
And it sucks, man. It's been annoying me, but not to the point where it's seriously like weighing on me or anything. Like, it's just kind of annoying, but then whatever. Like, I'm still grateful for whatever I have. And again, getting through it, I'm in a routine at this point, and I've been so busy with school and managing like school and work anyways, where it's like whatever. I guess at sometimes I don't even really have time to think about shit I'd rather be doing. So it's fine. I don't know. I mean, again, I've been kind of living as if we've been in lockdown, so not much is changing for me.
Yeah, I feel for you, bro. And like when I was living at home, like even when I wasn't, I sort of felt like at the time I was very disciplined compared to most people.
Yeah. No,
and-
you were. You definitely were.
And even then, like everything I did that was leaving the house, like even when I was getting groceries, it still felt like a risk I was adding to my parents' life. And it was really, it just sucks to kind of like live in that guilt. And even when I didn't feel guilty, it was like anything I do is just, I'm a risk. And I hated that feeling. So I'm glad I'm in the position I am now where I'm just only putting myself at risk anytime I like do anything. And not that I'm like fucking, going to fucking ragers,
Which you are.
Yeah, but only with like 50 to 70 people, like not like the crazy ones with like 100 people, you know.
Is it at least outdoors?
It's like I guess like it's technically outdoors with like a closed roof and like no windows, you know what I mean?
So just say indoors next time.
Yeah, it's like pretty much indoors. Like,
are you guys
60,
at least like
70.
wearing masks and like trying to distance?
So this is the thing, it's like max like 90 to like 80, 85 people.
I thought you said 50.
Well, like 50 is like, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, you
No,
kind of
I
like
don't.
stay.
Are you guys at least wearing masks and distancing? Can you at least give me that much?
Well, masks, yeah. Like we definitely use like like when I'm walking there, like I'll use a mask and then
You use a
we're
mask when
there,
you're
might take
walking
it off
there?
for a bit, and it might take it off for like a little bit.
You wear a mask when you're walking there with no one, and then you take it off when you're in a room with 90 people.
Yeah.
It's just like my belief, dude, and it's just the way I'm living my life. Okay.
I guess that's fair.
So no judgment there. No, okay. Not to get actually back to it. I wanted to make a point. Like anyone that's actually like, feeling like down about the shit and it's tough. Yeah, I feel for you as well. And like, let's just hope we can, get through this tough patch.
I really don't want to sound like an overly optimistic douche when I say I truly feel like we're almost there. Like I see a light at the end of this fucking dark tunnel. I really do. Like I'm actually turning on the news or like flipping to the news and hearing positive fucking updates every now and then.
Yeah,
and
I heard
that's different.
I heard there was kind of a dip recently in as far as like new cases goes.
Nice.
Like they were expecting the sort of like post holiday to like really focus, and apparently it kind of hasn't as much as we expected. So maybe this lockdown stuff is working.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want this to become like a COVID podcast. I just want to like have
But what do you guys think about this vaccine? Like,
I know, right? RMA, RMA, dude. I personally don't believe it works. Anyways, no, I wanted to get to this question because I thought it would be interesting. We might have some stories to tell from our. You knew that was gonna hurt me, dude.
Lay it on, Daniel.
So here's what I like to do. I like to go and read questions from the perspective of parents and just kind of get a check to see how I'd be in terms of like making decision as a parent. So here's one as
I have a bad feeling about this, Daniel.
Right?
Here's one submitted by like a 31-year-old. Oh, this is a female. So 31 female. So I guess this is a mother.
Okay.
So pretend you're a mother. Pretend you have an 11-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And the subject is advice on 11-year-old son, in quotes, discovering himself.
Do you even want names?
Sure. So I need the mother's name and I need the son's name.
All right, Joel, you can do whichever one you want.
And I need the sister's and I need a sister's name. So sister of the mother.
Okay. Well, I'll give a name.
Yeah, go ahead, Kunal.
My God, your cat Sunny is just
Right?
posing for us right now. Looks like
she's photobombing. Yeah.
She looks like the Sphinx right now.
The mother is gonna be named Semprecious.
Holy shit. Okay.
Jesus, that's kind of cool. Actually.
Then there's a boy and a girl.
The son, 11-year-old son, and then a sister to the mother.
Okay, the son's gonna be called Ed. And
Ed, love that.
And the girl's gonna be called Susie.
Susie, Ed, and Sam Precious. What
Sam
was it?
Precious. Sam Precious.
Sam Precious. All right. So hi.
Hey.
What's up? That was the whole question. Yeah, I was just no. Okay, so here's the thing. I have an 11-year-old son. This is Sam Precious talking. We are so close. And we have an amazing bond. He tells me everything, like when he's feeling a certain way, just about anything. Recently, he told me he masturbated or thinks he did. He kind of went into detail, but didn't go too far. I was extremely casual about it. I acted as if we were talking about the weather. I knew not to react in a negative way. I sort of mastered the art of keeping a straight face. Nice. I did tell him that it was normal for an 11-year-old to be curious and to make sure that he keeps that in the privacy of his own room and to keep his hands clean. My sister then, who is Susie, then berated me and said that I should have nipped it in the bud immediately. Yeah. And that I'm leading him to think it's okay and normal. Now, when I was younger, I was never able to tell my mom anything. She was extremely toxic and narcissistic towards me. When I got, oh my God, I didn't even know about this part. When I got molested a few times as a child, I kept it to myself because I was never comfortable going to her. And I was so happy that my son felt so comfortable to tell me. Now I feel conflicted and kind of sad. Any advice?
Dear God.
And I guess I really didn't need names there for any of that. There was no names.
Yeah. I think the names are just fun.
But it's fine because like we can refer to them as.
I think Sam Precious is doing the right thing. I think she's doing the right thing with being very approachable.
I was sort of hoping this wasn't going to happen, but I think we might all be on the same page here. It's like,
I disagree with Susie, man.
Susie is a little.
I think Susie needs to mind her own fucking business.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard the sexually liberated approach. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no need for stigma. That shit's all tied back to very much outdated beliefs that most people don't even recognize on most levels anymore. And we just kind of cherry pick certain things that we hold through the generations. And honestly, this is definitely one thing that's not an issue, perfectly normal. And the mom's advice was actually dead on. And I'm thinking Susie over there, like, I don't know, she has some learning to do. Honestly,
yeah, she literally said like, you're leading him to think it's okay and normal.
Which, by the way, Susie,
fuck
it is
you,
okay
Susie.
and normal.
It is normal. Little
There's
fucker.
nothing wrong with it. Oh my God, you're mad at Susie.
Yeah. I don't know their background. Like maybe they're from a very like religious background, whatever faith that might be, and maybe there's just a lot of hang-ups from growing up in that kind of background, right?
Right.
But it would be a matter of looking past faith and just, you kind of can't hold on to some of those lessons, honestly, if you want me to be honest. Yeah.
I think the way, like, my kind of philosophy with parenting is you can't actually teach someone everything, and you're going to be so old by the time you're a parent that like you're not going to be able to teach how to grow in like this world because like you've not experienced that. Like for example, the point I'm going to bring up with my parents is like I started masturbating I think when I was like I want to say 15 or 16, which I think is really late actually. But like my parents never like grew up in an age where like full on like HD porn videos were like available at any moment at any time for free.
Right.
And so growing up with that, it's like there's no way they could teach me how to, you know, navigate that in a healthy way. I sort of think my philosophy on parenting is like you just need to kind of just get a couple of fundamental things really down well, like just have support and love with them for them, and like, you know, a place to call home, people to talk to.
Right.
That's
I
kind
think
of just
internet
it.
porn. Yeah, I think internet porn is actually a much more important question in all of that versus masturbating itself versus how you consume pornography. That's a very different question. And there's a lot of, like, even if you go on internet porn, there's a lot of questions of ethicality, whether or not it was actually like consented to be uploaded online, who's actually making money off of these videos.
Right.
Yeah. And basically just like how having access to that much pornography can actually affect your psyche, even as a young child, right? So that would actually be probably something the mom would maybe might be important to tackle with her son, actually, is how to responsibly consume that content. I don't know if I have an answer for that one, but that's a very big question.
It's almost like at that point you kind of need to dig in more to what he's doing, and I wonder if it's worth doing that, because especially if what's her name, Sam Precious here, is like not an experienced masturbator, like she won't necessarily know how to like tell him how to navigate it in a healthy way.
I think I'm kind of there with you, because from the way she worded it, it seems like her approach in that conversation was, let me not fluster him and try to ask too many questions or whatever. He's confused. He's not sure what's going on. And like, he thinks something. So let me just be like an approachable person and a trustworthy person you can just talk to and be open with. So I think I'm with you there. I think eventually it might be something worth digging into. But as of right now, for at least the context of that first conversation, it seems like she really just wanted to be someone that, like, to establish herself as someone that he can trust for something like that, if he wants to talk to someone, because she feels like she never really had that in her childhood, and she just wants to make sure she can establish that for her son. So I think I guess I'm not really answering anything, but I do think I'm kind of with you there.
Actually, I really like that, because I mean, it's a bit young to be having this sort of philosophy when he's 11.
Yeah.
But I do think that you need to allow your kids to be able to approach you and talk to you about stuff that like you disagree with what they're doing. Even if like you don't disagree with masturbation or whatever, like you still need to open the door to be like, as the child, you could be like, oh, I can go talk to my mom even if she's not gonna approve of this.
Right.
Like she's not gonna yell at me and like punish me overly, because then that just means that you close the door, because there's always gonna be things that you do as a child that your like parents won't agree with. And if you feel like you can't approach them on those things, then you just won't approach them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so even if you feel like, oh yeah, she might not fully approve of this, I know it's not going to be to the extent where, oh, I shouldn't talk to her about this. And I think that's what the type of relationship she's trying to establish with him. Like, even if I don't approve of it, you can always talk to me about it. Like, I'm never going to, look down on you or fucking do anything overly drastic. We'll literally just talk about it.
Did you guys have this conversation, like a masturbation talk or like a sex talk with your parents?
I did not.
Definitely no. Not on my end.
I did.
Yeah,
I think
I didn't either.
Once the subject was maybe almost broached, and it's like repressed almost, this memory, because I'm having a hard time really recapping it. But I just know that the conversation I didn't want to have it. I was like, you know what? Nah, we don't need to do this.
Yeah, I think same sort of thing happened to me where like it almost kind of came out.
Right.
And I can't remember if it was to do with sex or masturbation or maybe both, but it was kind of just like the subject was kind of broached by my dad. Like he basically just wanted to like let something be known, and he kind of just outwardly said it.
Right.
I forget exactly what the idea was, but I was just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like I was just and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then like
Yeah. I understand
And,
that reaction.
I sort of like, I guess it was kind of just like, don't ask, don't tell, but like, it's fine. You know, like
Right,
there's just
yeah.
some things that like, it's fine, but like, we don't need to talk about everything.
Right.
No.
And then like, it got to the point where I got old enough that we still never had any talk like that. But now I wouldn't even give a shit. I just tell them anything.
I think I
don't
get
care.
that too, yeah. And it's like I've still never explicitly had to talk, but as I've been getting older, like they'll randomly just like say something. Or it's like, oh, just make sure you're being like safe and whatever. It's like, haha, all right, enough. It's actually quite enough, but like it's said in like a joking manner, not like a serious conversation that's being approached. But yeah, I've never outright explicitly sat down and had the talk or anything like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like much like a similar story I had with a previous conversation with you guys that never existed. You know, like the way like I like did a shaving tutorial on YouTube instead of like talking with my dad about it. I think like that was like kind of my parenting approach for me specifically for like most of my life. Like basically my brother was maybe like raised more hands-on by my parents, but then they let me kind of raise myself, and I just kind of worked out, and I just never asked them for anything, and I never needed their advice on anything. And they just kind of just like kept it hands off, and I was just, I never had any kind of talk with my parents ever. No. I would totally not care about talking about that stuff though, but maybe I'd rather just not talk about it with my parents at the same time. I can avoid that conversation.
I mean, when I hear that though, like, I don't think that's, I think that's great in terms of like, you don't need, any specific guidance, you know what I mean? Like you just figure out your own shit, and, that's kind of cool. But like, as a future father, like I might just not force those situations, but I'll just like have those teaching moments, not because I think like they need it, but it's just kind of like, a bonding moment, you know? It's just like, this doesn't need to happen, but it's like, yeah, I'm just going to do this with my son. And then it's like, it allows your child to like know you better. Cause then you could talk about when you first did this and like, what that was like. I don't know. As I've grown up, it's like, it's actually really important to know who your parents are. Cause then you understand yourself better.
Right.
A lot too. Honestly,
and comfortability.
As I've gone to, therapy, that's the thing that like comes out a lot. Like my first ever session with the therapist, she was basically just telling me like, have conversations with your parents, like know more about their history, ask your dad how he did this and this. Because like she would be asking me stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, like I guess my dad, like I don't know, he kind of like worked here, and then I don't know, he was in like insurance for a bit or whatever, and like that type of shit is like, it helps out to know your parents' path a lot more, even at like good or bad, I think too.
Right.
I think I agree. I really admire that, Daniel. Like, you know, if you like start off at a young age with your kid and you like open those dialogues up and you make it known that any kind of conversation is always welcome, and like you can kind of come to your parent as a confidant, as like a secure person to get all this information from, and that's actually just a really good example of parenting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I would have more of these dialogues with my parents if I maybe had like maybe something more of a connection with my dad, and I'd even like care to bring that up with him, but I really have nothing. We don't have that kind of relationship at all. So I ended up just being very independent myself. I can't speak for Kunal though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a blend. Actually, I know that I can approach them about anything, and they've made it very clear that I can approach them about literally anything, even if it's something they won't approve of, which has always been nice. I simply sometimes just choose not to. It's like, you know what? I'd rather not, either because I'd rather just A, work through it by myself, or B, maybe just not rope them in, whether for their own sake or for mine. I know I can talk to them. I just don't really want to exercise that option right now. And so we have a relationship where we could have those conversations. I've just never really, I don't often take that route.
That's cool. I think I'm very similar. It's resonating me now hearing that's actually all you need, is just to know that you can have the conversation. And then it's kind of like, but you know what? Like, thanks for that. But, and I will, if I really feel like I need to, but I'd rather figure this out on my own. That's kind of the way I've always been. Similar. It sounds like all three of us are kind of like that. Like, I want to go through this shit myself and figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's good to know that that's an option. You know
In case, I need that fallback. I know I can fall back to my family.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% had that for sure myself.
And so like in a case where I do end up feeling like Jesus Christ, like I need to talk to them about this. Like I'm not doing this by myself. I tried, I can't, I failed, I need some help. Then they take it very seriously when I do, because it's like, oh shit, like, yeah, he can talk about anything, but he doesn't often. So like when he does, like he needs something, like he needs help in something, or he fucking, you know what I mean? Like they really listen and give it like all the time and effort that they need to. And I'm sure they would, even if I came to them on a consistent basis with a new problem every day. But it's just like the fact that I don't very often just seems like there's a lot of emphasis on it for them when I do.
Yeah. Before I wrap up, what's sorry, wait, let me try. Fucking I forgot the shit I was gonna say, man.
My God, you look upset.
I'm fucking pissed for
I like that. Do you have a candle in the washroom there?
I do, yeah.
I like that, man. That's nice.
Thanks, dude. I'm actually trying to program myself with like a Pavlovian response. I have two candles. One of them I only light when I'm like working.
Yeah.
And the other one I light when I'm just like I have nothing to do. Right. And I'm hoping it'll trick my brain and be like, all right, time to work, or like, all right, time to relax.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I find that fascinating.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did, yeah. I guess I'm
bullshit.
Like fucking like smart.
They say that about chewing gum too, right? When you're studying, chew gum, and then when you're taking the test, chew gum.
Oh, really?
Whoa!
I feel like that was
try some of these,
dude. That's big. That's big gum, man. Fucking corporate gum fucking companies are inserting that into the world to fucking take over, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I was gonna ask, at what point? Because none of us are perfect. Obviously, we're all humans, and even as a parent, like you generally know what's best, but you obviously make mistakes and have flaws yourself. Mm-hmm. What do you think is like the appropriate amount to like show and not show that with your children, depending on their age? Because like it's on one hand, you kind of want to be like this point of support, like this kind of like superhero type figure, like like right. this person has life figured out, like you can always go to him. But on the other hand, like do you want to also, because then it's like you can't mess up or anything, and like when you kind of like fuck up, you have to like kind of lie, or like you know what I mean, like you have to say, like you can't just be like, oh fuck, I forgot to like pick you up from school. You have to you have to like say some shit.
So wait, what's the question? Like, when do you show your imperfections to your children?
Yeah, like like not when, but I guess more on like a high level, like how open are you going to be with your mistakes to your children? Like
mistakes that don't directly affect them? Like, for example, like it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm late to school. Like, I made a mistake. Do you mean like mistakes that that they wouldn't know about and that I'm opening up to them? But like,
I think I understand your question, Daniel.
I don't know.
I'm kind of following you.
I guess both.
Well, I have no credibility in anything I'm about to advise here. I'm not a parent, and I don't know if I ever want to be one either. So that's where I'm at. But I would say it'd be really important to try to avoid lying to your kid for as far as they can cognitively process. Like, if you can be honest with what happened with your kid, I think that would probably be best. Like, build up a level of trust and like open dialogue with your kid no matter what happens. And I think that doesn't matter at what age, as long as you feel like they can handle it or comprehend what's going on. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to bigger conversations, I think destigmatizing a lot of different notions that maybe we're trying to preserve the innocence of children or anything like that. I don't know if that honestly matters in the grand scheme of things. And if you want to normalize certain questions and certain topics at an early age, it would be perfectly fine, in my opinion, to kind of get those dialogues going, like death, sexuality, gender, and everything like that. But it'd be more of how like that kid manages that information with with the remainder of society, because some parents might disagree with anything you're trying to teach your kid, but then at the same time, I'm very much aboard normalizing most things. So and I think most kids are surprisingly able to handle a lot of this information. It's just kind of how society reacts to that ends up being the problem.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if I was just thinking, like, as far as kind kind of like not giving them the cold hard truth. I feel like the reasoning for that is kind of like life is kind of fucked up and you don't want to just put everything like, yeah, like life is dreadful. There's like death and like fucking shit going on all the time. Like it's allow them to have their youth, and like slowly onset the like harsh realities of life so that they can kind of just like enjoy their youth and just kind of like slowly get
So are you asking like kind of
like
life. Are you asking like how much you kind of want to like expose them to directly without them kind of experiencing it themselves? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm asking.
Daniel,
Honestly-
I might be opening up a can of worms with this one, Daniel. But like, you're saying like you don't want to tell your children like the pains of life and everything. But it's like, why would you have a child then? If like you're not prepared to tell them about the life that you gave them. You put them into the world, and you're like, well, life is miserable, but I made you and I created you.
No, because I think
So
there's a
deal with
lot
it,
of
fucker.
I think there's a lot of amazing things with life, but children haven't developed like any sort of ways of them dealing with the harsh realities of life. Like as an adult, there's tons of shit I deal with all the time, but I've learned a lot over time with how to deal with certain things, like, anguish and like pain and depression and anxiety and like, a lot of like fucked up shit going on in the world. I'm able to offset that with like a lot of other things I enjoy, like people and, like relationships I have. Like I know the things that make me happy and, so like I'm able to like balance my life in that way. Kid doesn't fucking know anything. You're like, yeah, we're all gonna die. I'm gonna die too. You're gonna die. We're all gonna die. And then they're just like, what the fuck? Like, how do I, it's too much for them to deal with all at once. So like you slowly onset it. And as far as bringing them a child into the world, like, I don't know. It's my fundamental belief. It's like this is kind of getting pretty deep, but my whole thing, I'm not religious. I kind of just believe, and I'm not saying I'm right, but this is kind of just what I believe. Like we're just brought into the world with kind of no reason, and at the very most we don't know what the reason is we're here. Like we don't actually have a purpose. So kind of the only thing to do is just in a weird way do whatever you want and just live the human experience. And so like I'm gonna just live the human experience and pass that on, and just that's what we're here to do. We're humans. We just fucking live and then fuck and then make more, and then that's it. That's what life is about.
Let me ask you a deeper question then, Daniel. So like do whatever you want. So why are you like limiting yourself with like how you eat your food and like vegetarianism and everything? Like if you just want to do whatever you want, why don't you just like fuck everything up along the way while you're in life? Like be the asshole and eat whatever you want and party and do as many substances as you want. There's definitely questions of ethicality and like health that you have to consider while you're living however you want, right?
Well, I mean, maybe it's part of it that I feel a responsibility as someone who has generations of people that have like built society in a way that like I can live a good life now. Like I feel like as part of the human experience is like at my time here, I'm gonna enjoy it, but also do it in a way that like I can bring other people and allow them to enjoy it as well. So like there's things fundamentally which I think is like as a society, as like a community, is a better way of living. And in my opinion, it's like in the one example you're bringing up, like food choices, like this is better for like health reasons. Ethically, it's less damaging to the environment. So I just think it's a better way to live as far as like the longevity of humans, like I think if we all like there's things we can all change that will benefit like future generations. So I'm just like I'm doing my part in that journey. And my son is like, and I'm doing shit that like I don't want to say my son, I'm like whoever my future children are. Like there's shit I'm doing right now that there's like tons of sacrifices to be made to make things better for future generations, and like a lot of stuff I don't even probably know about, like I'm not even cognizant of, but I just feel like it's like you provide a better situation for whoever your children are, and then they'll push the envelope too. They'll do things better than you ever did. And that's like, the way, that's like a sustainable way of life, where like we all just come on the earth, enjoy it as much as we can, and then just fucking move on. It's life.
There's a lot of different fields of thought we could get into with all of that, but I couldn't name you all of these different existentialist philosophers. But there's definitely fields of thought that would agree with you there, Daniel.
Yeah, it's weird. Like we kind of this is why I wanted you on the show for sure, because we weirdly agree and disagree on a lot of fundamental things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I might be more nihilistic.
I am kind of nihilistic too, but in a as of late, a more positive way. Because as far as like doing drugs and like whatever, just be like doing whatever I want to maximize like happiness, it actually wouldn't make me happy to do all that. Like it doesn't feel good because it feels like it's not completing a purpose. And I like I was saying, like I feel like purpose is really important to happiness. Not even really important. It's essential.
I don't know if I agree on that.
Again, well, this is just my beliefs based on what I like. When I lacked purpose, which is like most of my life, that's when I've been the most happy. And whenever I've been able to find purpose for myself, and I literally have to make it up because a life is meaningless.
I think I kind of completely disagree, Daniel. I think basically the chase for a purpose is what makes you unhappy, and you have to find happiness within just how you're living and where you're at right now. Like you can't.
Oh, no, I have the opposite philosophy.
You can't chase anything to find happiness. You have to actually learn to deal with existing and the pain of existence, and find happiness just within the everyday moments. And if you watch the movie Soul that just came out with Pixar, it touches on all of that. Actually, you have to find that peace. You have to find that inner peace every single moment of your day. There's nothing to chase. I think the chase is something that ultimately ends up being a trap.
I want to let Kunal speak because he's been sitting in the back, but I have a follow up to that. Kunal, what are your thoughts?
I feel like, in regards to the chase, or just, I guess the way I interpreted what Joel was saying was just kind of living in the moment, I guess, and finding whatever happiness or pain or experiences that come along the way in the moment. I see a world where both can exist, unless that's what you were saying, where I'm taking things day by day in the moment, and I'm processing whatever comes my way, but at the end of the day I'm still chasing something, and that's what's driving me. That's what's getting me through the day. That's what's pushing me to that end goal or that end game, whatever I have.
Yeah, I think the way I view it is it's not actually the goal that makes you happy. It's actually chasing the goal is what makes you feel fulfilled. And it's tough because you don't always know what that goal is, because ultimately I kind of just made it up. You know what I mean? But I have two examples for you real quick. Yeah, okay. I have two examples. One is like, it's kind of a dumb, but like if you've ever built a Lego set, it's like you have the box and you have this cool ass thing. Maybe it's like a fucking spaceship or some shit. And you're like, that is so sick. Like, I want to fucking build that. And then you're building it and it's so exciting. And then you actually have it and it's like, okay, cool. Like, it's not that great to actually have it. It's like building it, the excitement, like being hopeful about the future and like having, looking forward to something is actually a great way. And I would argue essential, at least it has been in my life, for like current happiness. And my second example was like, as far as the chase goes, I think it's kind of built into us as humans. Like, humans got up every morning with a purpose. Like, I need to go out and, like, I don't know, in the hunter's view, in the hunter's world, it's like, I need to get up and go hunt for my family so that we have food and we can survive. And they're chasing that. But like, I wouldn't argue that those people are unhappy. Like, that's kind of like the human existence. You know, they get up and they chase something every day.
What about the non-hunters? What about the people who just hung around and like maybe like they hunted once a week out of obligation for their own survival, but that wasn't what defined their lives?
Well, I mean, I feel like nothing defined their lives in a way. That's what I'm talking about. You just get up, you live the human experience, and then you just die.
And for whatever purpose you might be like driving towards, what are the external factors that you can deconstruct that actually made you want to have those purposes? Like, are they actually meaningful on any level, or you just was your upraising what defined what you think is a valuable purpose, and is it actually a worthy goal? Does it actually give you any meaning once you're dead? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get that promotion. I mean,
ultimately, once you're dead, kind of nothing matters, so to speak. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll all die and be like, oh shit, some crazy. Well, that's why. But instead of chasing that purpose in life, you have to, before you die, you have to just actually find peace with death and living every day with that peace.
I mean, it also really comes down to personal. It also comes down to personal perspective, though. Like, someone might completely disagree with your statement, Daniel, that like, oh, once you're dead, like nothing really matters. Like, oh, I mean, what if I want to leave something behind? Yeah. Like, what if that's what I'm chasing, is leaving something behind? Like, I'm at peace with being dead one day, as long as I know that I left behind X, Y, and Z. Like, this is what I was working towards. I did it. I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. Also, we should probably wrap soon. But yeah.
Yeah, we could probably talk like fucking endlessly on this shit. And just. But I don't know. I think like the fact that we're all gonna die isn't like, even if there's nothing at the end, which I mean, who knows? No one actually knows, including myself. But that shouldn't. I mean, we're still living life right now, and there's things to be experienced. That's kind of how I view life. There's like a human experience at hand, and I'm just trying to like maximize the experience. It's like, damn, I did some cool shit. You know, I had some good moments, had some bad moments, whatever. I live my life.
I hear you there, Daniel. I'm just trying to live life in a way where I can die knowing that I made the most of the human experience. And I had...
Yo, I'm exact same way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, how we define that human experience of what we're actually seeking out is up to like interpretation.
Yeah. Wow. I think that's a great place to end it because we actually agreed at the end. Well, yeah. As far as just wrapping up this question, I think we're all in agreement that this little 11-year-old's a little fucking pervert, God, dude. He's a little pervert. What's wrong with this kid? Masturbating? Fucking, what is that?
Shake my head.
Ground him, obviously. Ground him.
Couldn't be me.
Make him feel ashamed. You know, that's definitely the root, right? We're all in agreement.
No, absolutely not.
You're going to grow hair on your palms. You're going to go blind. Jesus is watching.
He is.
Like, unacceptable.
All right. Okay, cool. Glad we're all in agreement. Joel's absolute pleasure.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad we're maximizing the human experience together.
Yeah, man. You're helping me maximize my human experience.
Yo, I love that, man. Yeah. Love you, Joel. Love you, Kunal. Glad we could join each other today during this pandemic. Thanks for everyone who's listening right now. Hope you all are doing all right. You know, getting through this time where we are having trouble maximizing the human experience because we can't do a lot. You know what I mean, I don't know what to say other than that. Kunal, you got anything else that you want to say?
Oh, yeah, sure. If you have any questions that you'd like to submit, because we would love to hear them. I am rt.podcast on Instagram or dan.and.canal@gmail.com. Folks, getting a question from you is maximizing my human experience. So send them in.
Nice, dude. You really wanted to take that from me?
Yeah.
Huh? Joel, any final thoughts?
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I'd love to be back. I think today I will not be regretting this podcast.
Yes.
All right. That's kind of like not the purpose of the show, though. So
shit.
You have to do.
Damn it,
say some shit. Say some like awful shit that you're gonna regret.
Say some like really crass, nasty stuff, and we can end it on that.
Okay. Shit.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
I don't like potato chips. I mean, a lot of people think that's controversial. Anyway.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean, honestly,
Anyways.
that's fine. I'm like,
Yeah, because you eat
I'm
seafood.
gonna regret putting that out there in the world now.
I could
Yeah.
kind of do it with or without chips.
That's because you eat seafood, man. I bet if they release like fish potato chips, you would be all over that shit, though, wouldn't you? Hey, you know
They
what?
have shrimp
Fuck you,
chips.
man.
Shrimp chips are definitely out there.
That was way too far.
Jesus.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in about 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Love everyone.
All right, cheers.
Peace.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the I'm Here podcast. We will see you next week for yet another episode.
Oh, this is the last time I'm here.